Welcome to UA Alive. This episode, we step behind the counter at Buckeye Donuts, gain teacher perspective on AP and IB testing, see what's happening with our spring sports teams, and look at how Florida is recovering from Hurricane Ian. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the National Weather Service, it is predicted that Central Ohio will have above average temperatures and above average precipitation during the months of May, June, and July. The hurricane season begins June 1st, and according to NOAA, the 2022 hurricane season produced 14 named storms with 3 hurricanes, Ian, Nicole, and Fiona, leaving extensive damage that is still being felt. In September, Hurricane Ian became a Category 5 storm with 160-mile-per-hour winds, striking Sanibel Island and Fort Myers Beach, leaving 20 inches of rain as it moved across Florida to the Atlantic coast. Kirsten reports from Florida this spring to report on the recovery and impact of Hurricane Ian.
In September of 2022, Hurricane Ian destroyed the Fort Myers area of Florida. This hurricane was a Category 5 with 160-mile-per-hour winds, which destroyed many homes and businesses. I spoke to an employee of Baywater Boat Club to see how the hurricane affected their business.
This is the Hurricane Ian's water line that we had. Most of our boats we put up at the dog track, which is a little farther down the road. But some of the boats that did stay here, they were in the streets. We had about 10 in the mangrove bushes. Our floating dock was like a ski jump. It went over the pilings. It was very disastrous. It took us about a month to get back in order.
Florida is still recovering, however, there has been a lot of progress rebuilding. This has been Kirsten Sauer reporting for the WARL.
Florida is currently dealing with giant blobs of seaweed called sargassum microalgae that's leaving stinky brown carpets of what once was prime tourist locations. Sargassum is a rootless algae that bunches up in the islands and floats across the ocean. Patches of this algae have been spotted in the Atlantic Ocean for centuries. But since 2011, a 5,000-mile-long patch of seaweed has circulated annually between the Gulf of Mexico and the Mid-Atlantic. In April, according to a bulletin from the University of South Florida Optical Oceanography Lab, sargassum levels in the Caribbean reached a new level of 13 million tons. Concern is rising that the patch could double in size by July. Before summer, high school students have the opportunity to participate in advanced placement and international baccalaureate testing that takes place the last month of school. High school students can earn college credit when taking these exams. 2 Upper Arlington High School teachers share their perspectives on the benefits of these courses. Jake reports.
So our IB classes, they do a great job preparing you for college. The content you cover is super high level, get you ready for the next level. Beyond that, it also makes you, it's going to be challenging. Some students really like the challenge at the high school, find it a challenge, and it can be a motivator for them. And then lastly, it does save you a ton of time and money, especially when you get college credit for some of these tests. I don't think our students quite realize what it looks like to get semester hours done before you go to college. It not only saves you thousands of dollars, but it also frees you up to interview for jobs, be a part of clubs, be a part of fraternities, sororities, that sort of thing. So the financial and the time commitment can be huge getting these done in high school.
Sure, so I've found the AP classes personally beneficial as well as professionally enriching. I enjoy teaching my students the rigorous content and find that the external motivation of a test in May helps to motivate me and them to learn the material. But then also my children took AP classes while they were here in high school and saved the family significant tuition in college because college courses were already understood and didn't need to be paid for while in college.
Seniors and those preparing to leave Upper Arlington High School after the school year need to prepare their iPads to be turned in by the following steps. Save your important data to Google Drive and use Google Takeout to transfer your Google Drive files to a personal account. Students leaving in seniors' UA accounts will be closed on June 16th. Visit the Leaving UA Soon page on Canvas for information on migrating your entire UA school's Google content to a personal Google account. And now to sports.
So there are actually 13 seniors who are actually leading the team into the tournament. They have the 5 seed right now. And then we actually spoke to 2 of the seniors, Joey Harder and Nick Sawyer.
Some keys to success have been scoring more points than the other team. That usually results in good outcomes. Some of the goals we've set as a team are win 20 wins, win the conference, and win a district title.
What do you guys have to say for people that are going to come out to one of the games this year?
Come out and support. Fun time.
How is this season going as far as like your personal?
It's going pretty well. I'm a senior this year, so I just wanted to just pretty much win, just make it a playoffs as far as we can this year.
Okay.
One of my pre-game rituals is to have the same routine off the tee in the cage. I usually do it off my whenever I have a 7th period off.
Okay, interesting. What are your thoughts on Michael getting hurt? Is that like a big punch in the team, or is that you guys dealing with it?
Yeah, I mean, he got injured last year, and we were able to persevere through that. But, I mean, it was a tough loss, of course, just one of our top guys going down. But we're able to persevere and just keep on moving forward.
So the Upper Arlington High School varsity baseball team is actually off to a really good start with a 14-5 record.
Yeah, they have key wins. They were number 1 ranked in the state, Old Tinge Liberty. They won twice, actually, 5-2 and 8-5. And the 11th ranked Old Tinge Orange, 4-2. They're currently ranked 15th in the state.
Our girls track bears will possibly end up in the state regionals for the 4x4 relay as they hold the first place with a record of 3rd overall for the girls track athletes. The first day of the OCC championship was held on May 10th here at the Marv. The second day will be held on May 13th at Big Walnut. Upcoming districts week will be held the week of May 15th. The location is to be determined. Elena Schneider, Maggie Robertson, Clara Reynolds, who also committed the run at Butler University, and Elizabeth Poling all have placed first for their events this season. The girls 4x2 team set a meet record for this season as well. Joining us today are 2 athletes from the girls varsity track team, sophomore Marina Connie and Aaron Samora. Marina, talk about your events and what it's been like as a first-year track athlete on varsity.
Yeah, so I run the 100-meter dash and the 4x1, and it's a really cool experience because I've never been on varsity before. So it's really fun. I get to run with Aaron, and yes, sir. We have a good time.
Aaron, talk about your events and what has been the most challenging.
I run hurdles, and most specifically the 300 hurdles, and it's been kind of hard just because it's like an event that's not considered like mid-distance, and it's not a sprint. So we have to have a lot of like different like things that we do in practice that we aren't like sprints, but they aren't mid-distance. But I've kind of struggled this year because the like practices have been harder, and I like wasn't used to that.
Can you both talk about the goals for the girls track team this year and if you're on track to reach those goals this season?
I think our 4x4 team and the 4x2 want to go to nationals. I think they already qualified for that. And I'm hoping to go to regionals.
I'll try to qualify for district finals. Yeah, that's my goal.
I know that personal records are an important aspect for track athletes. How have you two managed in this area this year?
At first, it was kind of a struggle to keep beating my PRs, but more recently, I've hit my PRs. Not my PR from last season, so I'm hoping to get that soon at our meet on Friday. But yeah, it's taken a while, but I feel like I'm finally in shape to start getting my PRs.
So my PR, the start of the season, I think I had like a 14.7 100-meter dash, and then now I've got it down to a 13.9, which is a pretty big time cut. So I'm just going to keep working on getting those times lower and lower.
That's good. Has Upper Arlington won any meets this season? If so, how many?
We have not won any meets this season, but the girls have come close. The girls have gotten like second or third. The guys normally get like eighth, so.
Yeah, I think we got second at the Lancaster relays.
Yeah.
We have some really good relay teams.
Yeah, we have really good relay teams.
And what other details can you tell us about the meets, from like running events to field events, highlights, where the teams have placed, and what's upcoming?
So we have this weekend, we have our Larkin meet, which is senior night, and then we have OCC's regionals, or districts, then regionals, states, and we have hopefully more people going to like states and nationals this year. No guys went last year for nationals, but I think they were hoping to have 2 or 3.
Our girls lacrosse Bears have had a current record of 13-3. We started the season off strong, beating Springboro 13-5 with new coach Laura Sandblum, who is an alumni here at Upper Arlington. We asked Lily Stelzer, a varsity girls lacrosse player, more about how the team kicked off their season.
So what have been your team's main goals this season?
This season, every year our goal is to win states and go far in the tournament. But this year we focused a lot on chemistry and working well as a team and working as a unit from defense to offense.
And how has your team adapted to the new head coach?
Coach Sandblum's great. She's an alumni and she played here, and so she just has a lot of love and passion, and she mixes well, and she's really focused on creating a really great team chemistry and a safe environment that everyone's successful in, and I think it's really working well for our team.
This season, we have many more freshmen on the girls' varsity team. We interviewed freshman Ellie King, who takes the draw, and Evie Ruma about the expectations on being a freshman on varsity.
Okay, Ellie, what's it like taking the draw for majority of the games as a freshman?
It's been a big responsibility, but it's been so fun because I have the support of all of my team and all of my coaches, and they've been really sweet.
What's been your most challenging win, do you think, this season?
I think our most challenging win has probably been Olentangy Liberty. We came back and we won 14-12. We played so good. We played as a unit, and yeah, that's probably our most challenging.
All right, Evie, how would you describe the chemistry on the team this year?
I think all of our chemistry works really well together. There's a lot of new people on the team this year, and I feel like there's no division between the upperclassmen and the underclassmen.
That's good. What would you say the pressure is like being a freshman on varsity? Because I know there's a lot of freshmen on varsity this year.
I feel like we all we work together. Yeah, the upperclassmen have been super helpful to us and helping us understand new plays and stuff, and yeah.
It's looking good for the Lady Bears moving forward with their season.
With only a couple more regular season games left, the Bears are hoping to advance further into their district. Good luck, Bears.
The second week of May, Upper Arlington hosted its first Central Ohio Football Combine Showcase that brought more than 100 college coaches to UA to see Upper Arlington high school football players demonstrate their skills. First started by Gahanna coach Bruce Ward in 2018, these combines exposed hundreds of players to several college coaches from across the nation.
Sophomore Cal Thrush and junior George Gerber from Upper Arlington were among players that received an offer on the field right after workout. Upper Arlington quarterback Coach Austin said that Upper Arlington plans to continue participating in this event in future years.
Even Ryan Day, head OSU football coach, was in attendance for this event.
One college game day tradition for Central Ohio Buckeye fans includes Buckeye Donuts. I stopped in this popular breakfast and donut shop.
Located on High Street at Ohio State University is the well-known and beloved donut shop, Buckeye Donuts. They opened in late 1969 and is one of the last shops remaining on High Street that had business in the 70s and 80s. Buckeye Donuts has grown to be a popular spot for college students and those living around the campus.
My name is Jimmy Barusis. I'm the owner of Buckeye Donuts on campus.
They are commonly known for their unique apple fritter donuts stuffed with apple chunks and topped with sweet glaze.
The blueberry cake donut is a really good seller, and the Buckeye donut is a big seller. Peanut butter and chocolate donut. That's kind of a unique thing that we have here. Maple bacon donuts is a bacon eclair, like a maple long john, cream in the middle and a maple on the outside. 2 pieces of bacon, grilled bacon on top of it.
Despite all of their popular flavors, Jimmy states that pretty much every donut they have sells out over the weekend.
Saturday is crazy. Saturday morning and Sunday morning too, but Saturday's the busiest day of the week. A lot of breakfast in the morning, a lot of coffee, a lot of catering in the morning on the weekends. A lot of groups, families come in. A lot of the students come in, obviously the freshmen, sophomores, juniors. These are the apple crisp donut. It's a cake donut that has apple, some apple chunks and cinnamon. and I think a little bit of brown sugar. I'm pretty sure there's a little brown sugar in there. And we just mix it up. And the boys, the gentlemen there, are cutting the donuts as we speak on the table. They mix over here in this industrial mixer here. They're hand cut, and what makes our donuts unique compared to pretty much most places are that we use old school hand cutting techniques, where they're not machine made, they're cut by hand. And so, they're cut by hand, and then we put them on the screen. That gives them a nice texture as well. And then we fry them right here. So everything's made in-house. Yeah.
The two types of donuts they sell are yeast donuts and cake donuts. The yeast donuts puff out more than the cake donuts, so they are lighter and require less ingredients per donut, whereas the cake donut requires more ingredients due to its density.
We're doing the cake donuts now. This is a cake donut. It's dense. It's much more dense. It has like more ingredients in it, and it's heavier and it's much more costly.
The cost of a cake donut is about double the cost of a yeast donut. Fillings and toppings also have an effect on the cost. Despite being known for their delicious homemade donuts, the shop sells way more than pastries.
We sell a lot of breakfast sandwiches. Food is half our business, believe it or not. I would say close to it, if not half our business. On the weekends, I can go as far as to say that Saturday, Sunday morning, we sell a ton of breakfast sandwiches. I mean, a ton of breakfast sandwiches and tater tots. And French toast. We sell a decent amount of French toast, but breakfast sandwiches and tater tots, huge seller. Iced coffees, iced lattes is another big seller. But breakfast is a big chunk of our business, and then also we do Greek. We do some Greek food. We do gyros, chicken gyros, Greek salads, chicken salads, kind of Greek style, quick serve food.
Something that makes Buckeye Donuts a loved and welcoming place is their 24/7 policy.
We're 24/7. I don't even know where the key is. Kevin, you guys know where the key is if we ever need to close? I don't have it. You guys have the key? They're shaking their heads over there. Nobody knows where the key is. But the thing is our hours, basically we have a slogan we came up with a few years back, actually many years back. Hours of operation, open always, closed never. We never close. Even holidays, Christmas, you name it, we're open.
Buckeye Donuts is a shop on campus providing delicious donuts and breakfast to all their customers anytime, day or night. This is Skylar Burkle reporting for the WARL.
One fun fact, Buckeye Donuts was originally called Jolly Roger Donuts.
Wendy's, which was founded in Columbus, has teamed up with Google to add artificial intelligence to its menus. Wendy's told NBC4 on Tuesday, May 9th, that it will launch an AI chatbot to automate its restaurant's drive-thrus. It will hold limited conversations with customers, like taking their food orders and answering frequently asked questions.
Todd Penegorst, Wendy's CEO, said Google Cloud's generative AI technology allows our employees to continue focusing on making great food and building relationships with fans that keep them coming back time and time again.
Upper Arlington officials expect the two-part Fishinger Road reconstruction project is to extend into the next 2 years. According to the city's engineering division, the work is the first major reconstruction of Fishinger since 1962.
The entire project is expected to cost approximately $12.9 million, with $8.4 million funded through a federal transportation grant.
And now to our studio interview with Alex and Upper Arlington City Manager Steve Shoney.
Stephen Shoney, City Manager for the City of Upper Arlington, joins us today to talk about some of the construction projects happening in Upper Arlington. Let's first talk about the topic that a lot of Upper Arlington high school students and families contend with daily, and that is the construction on Fishinger Road and its impacts on the 5-point intersection that joins Fishinger Road, Tremont Road, and Northwest Boulevard.
It's kind of a mess. It's going to be a mess for probably that section will be under construction, heavy construction for the remainder of this year, and then we'll actually move further to the west down next year, start on the portion that goes from Mount View down to Riverside Drive. So the reason we're doing it and the reason it's taking so long is we're actually not just replacing the roadway, we're going in replacing the water lines and the sewer lines, because those lines are 75 years old. And when those things get that old, it creates all kinds of problems. You get water main breaks, you get leakage in the sewer lines, which is not good. So it's a mess. I know it's a mess. We really have been advising folks that if you can find another way to avoid that section of Fishinger Road, do it. So, you know, whether it's coming down Mount View a little bit further and then coming across, whether it's if you're coming up from further up north, going over to Kenny on McCoy, and then down through 5 Points, but not hitting that stretch of Fishinger, that will be your best bet because it's just, it kind of is what it is for this year.
Is there a possibility 5 Points may be transformed into a roundabout?
So we've talked about that a lot, and from a traffic engineering technical perspective, it makes a ton of sense. The problem with it is when you drive through there and you look up at all those wires and the telephone poles and everything, that would all have to go underground, and that's stupid expensive. But could I see it happening in 5 or 10 years? Sure. Is it on the plans for it to happen tomorrow? No.
Is there any upcoming projects on the horizon that the city is looking into?
The community center is the big one. That'll be 2 years to construct, so it'll be, you'll be out of school by the time it's done, but you can use it when you come back. We want to kind of get through those things. The next big thing that we're going to look at is, we've had a lot of changes on Lane Avenue. I think Henderson Road could use some changes that are pretty similar to that in terms of new businesses, new kinds of buildings, that kind of stuff. So we're starting down the process of doing the planning that it takes to do that. So that's a long-term thing. But in terms of short-term, Fishinger Road, Northam Park, the community center, that's a lot. We want to get that done and let kind of people breathe for a minute before we start a next huge construction project.
Thank you, Mr. Shoney, for your time today. We will have other city news in the future.
Thank you.
The Kentucky Derby experienced controversy this year with 7 deaths of horses. Early favorite Forte was also scratched shortly before the race on Saturday, May 6th, due to injury.
5 horses died during the week leading up to the race. Chloe's Dream and Freezing Point were euthanized before the race on Saturday. Churchill Downs indefinitely suspended trainer Safi Joseph Jr., who worked with 2 horses that collapsed on the track and died after races held before the Derby.
Part of the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Act took effect last summer, but new anti-doping rules have been delayed by court challenges. Those regulations won't go into effect until after the first 2 legs of this year's Triple Crown race.
The Westminster Kennel Dog Show is an all-breed conformation show that took place on Monday, May 8th and Tuesday, May 9th, making it their 147th annual dog show since it started in 1877. The show is currently held in New York City's Arthur Ashe Stadium. This year's winner is Buddy Holly, a petite Basset Griffon Vendine.
The American Kennel Club has announced the French Bulldog as 2023's top dog, which replaced the Labrador Retriever after 3 decades of being the most popular dog. Not only is the French Bulldog the most popular breed, but one of its kind was the #1 show dog in the country at the Kennel Club events.
The positive qualities of playfulness, friendliness, and being affectionate contributed towards their ranking. They are considered as low-maintenance pets, for they have a short coat that doesn't require much grooming and they don't shed a lot. Proud owners of French Bulldogs are Lady Gaga, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Reese Witherspoon, and Hugh Jackman.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time with more stories of the day.